Warren Buffett reads 500 pages every single day. Jeff Bezos wakes up at 5 a.m. to think without interruptions. Elon Musk absorbs information from 5 different books simultaneously. What if I told you that behind every billion-dollar fortune lies a brain that's been systematically rewired for success? While most people scroll through social media for hours, billionaires are performing mental exercises that literally reshape their neural pathways. They don't just work harder, they think differently. And today, you're going to discover the exact mental training methods that separate the ultra-wealthy from everyone else. Don't forget to subscribe and drop a comment with your favorite success topic. I read every single one and use them to create content that helps you level up. What separates a billionaire's brain from yours isn't intelligence, it's architecture. When Warren Buffett makes an investment decision, he's not relying on gut feelings or market trends. He's running information through a mental framework that's been refined over decades. The Oracle of Omaha has trained his mind to think in probabilities, not possibilities. While most investors see a stock price and think, will it go up or down? Buffett's brain automatically calculates risk ratios, historical patterns, and long-term value propositions. This isn't natural talent, it's the result of deliberate mental conditioning. Bill Gates operates similarly. When Microsoft was just starting, Gates didn't just see computers as cool gadgets. His mind was wired to recognize systemic opportunities. He understood that software would eventually touch every aspect of human life, not because he was psychic, but because his brain had been trained to think in systems and interconnections. This systematic thinking doesn't happen overnight. These billionaires have literally rewired their neural pathways through consistent mental exercises. Every morning, Buffett spends hours reading annual reports, not for entertainment, but to strengthen his pattern recognition abilities. His brain has become a sophisticated machine for processing complex financial information and extracting actionable insights. The fascinating part. Modern neuroscience proves that our brains remain plastic throughout our lives. Every time you practice a specific way of thinking, you strengthen those neural pathways. When billionaires repeatedly engage in strategic thinking, their brains physically change to support these thought patterns. Most people train their bodies at the gym, but leave their minds to chance. Billionaires understand that mental fitness is far more valuable than physical fitness. They've designed their daily routines around cognitive enhancement, not just productivity. While you might check emails first thing in the morning, destroying your mental clarity for the day, successful entrepreneurs protect their peak mental hours like gold. The difference isn't in their starting point. It's in their commitment to mental training. They've built thinking systems that automatically filter information, prioritize decisions, and identify opportunities that others miss completely. Elon Musk doesn't make decisions the way normal people do. When he decided to start SpaceX, most people saw an impossible dream. Musk's brain, however, was operating from a completely different framework called first principles thinking.
Instead of accepting conventional wisdom that space travel is too expensive, Musk broke down the problem to its fundamental components. What does a rocket actually cost in raw materials? How much should manufacturing really cost without legacy inefficiencies? His mental framework bypassed traditional assumptions and revealed opportunities others couldn't see. This isn't luck or genius. It's trained cognitive architecture. Musk has conditioned his brain to question every assumption and rebuild solutions from the ground up.
Most entrepreneurs think in analogies. This is like what already exists. Billionaire brains think in principles. What are the fundamental laws governing this situation? Jeff Bezos operates from another powerful framework, the regret minimization framework. When making major decisions, his brain automatically projects forward to age 80 and asks, "What will I regret not trying?" This mental model helped him leave a lucrative Wall Street job to start Amazon in his garage. These frameworks aren't random. They're systematically developed through years of practice. Ray Dalio, founder of Bridgewater Associates, created over 200 principles that guide his decision-making process. His brain has been trained to automatically reference these principles when facing new situations, eliminating emotional decision-making and cognitive biases. The most successful billionaires have trained their minds to operate like high-performance computers. They've programmed themselves with decision trees, probability assessments, and systematic thinking patterns. When opportunity knocks, they don't waste time on analysis paralysis. Their mental frameworks automatically evaluate and respond. Charlie Munger, Buffett's longtime partner, calls this developing a latticework of mental models. Instead of thinking linearly, billionaire brains connect insights from psychology, physics, economics, and history to solve complex problems. This interconnected thinking allows them to spot patterns and opportunities that remain invisible to conventional minds. The remarkable truth? These frameworks can be learned and implemented by anyone willing to invest time in mental training rather than passive entertainment. At 6 a.m., while most people hit snooze, Warren Buffett is already deep into his daily brain training routine. He starts every morning reading newspapers and financial reports, not for news, but to strengthen his analytical processing speed. This isn't casual reading, it's deliberate cognitive exercise. Buffett has trained his brain to extract key insights rapidly from dense information. After decades of this practice, he can scan an annual report and immediately identify the most critical metrics. His mind automatically filters relevant data from noise, a skill that directly translates into billion-dollar investment decisions. Bill Gates follows a similar pattern, but focuses on learning synthesis. He blocks out think weeks, twice a year, where he isolates himself with nothing but books and his thoughts. During these periods, Gates isn't just consuming information. He's training his brain to connect seemingly unrelated concepts and generate innovative solutions. These aren't random habits. They're systematic cognitive training programs. Mark Cuban spends 3 hours daily reading about industries he's considering investing in. His brain has been conditioned to rapidly assess market opportunities and identify disruption potential. This mental training directly contributed to his ability to sell broadcast. Com for billions during the dot-com era. The morning routines of billionaires share common elements: protected thinking time, information processing practice, and systematic learning. They treat their minds like professional athletes treat their bodies, with disciplined, consistent training. Oprah Winfrey maintains a daily meditation practice that has trained her brain for enhanced focus and emotional regulation. This mental conditioning allows her to maintain clarity during high-pressure situations and make better strategic decisions for her media empire. What's fascinating is that these routines become self-reinforcing. As their brains become more efficient at processing information and making connections, billionaires can handle increasingly complex challenges. Their mental capacity expands, allowing them to pursue bigger opportunities and manage larger enterprises. The key insight: these billionaires didn't wake up with superior brains. They systematically trained their minds for success. Their daily routines are specifically designed to enhance cognitive performance, not just complete tasks. While most people fill their mornings with reactive activities like checking social media, billionaires use this prime mental time for deliberate brain training that compounds over decades. When Elon Musk reads 5 books simultaneously, he's not just showing off. He's employing advanced memory techniques that most people never learn. Billionaires understand that information is only valuable if you can recall and apply it instantly during critical moments. The memory palace technique, used by ancient Greek orators, has been adopted by modern billionaires to store vast amounts of strategic information. This method involves associating important data with specific locations in a familiar space, creating a mental filing system that can be accessed rapidly. Warren Buffett has effectively created a mental library containing decades of financial data, company histories, and market patterns. When evaluating a potential investment, he doesn't need to research everything from scratch. His trained memory provides instant access to relevant historical context and comparative analysis. But billionaires go beyond basic memory techniques. They practice what cognitive scientists call elaborative rehearsal, the process of connecting new information to existing knowledge networks. When Bill Gates reads about renewable energy, he's not just memorizing facts. He's mentally linking this information to economics, policy implications, technological trends, and investment opportunities. This creates what researchers call expert memory, the ability to recognize complex patterns and recall relevant information instantly within specific domains. Chess grandmasters exhibit this same phenomenon, able to remember entire game positions after brief glances because they've trained their brains to recognize strategic patterns. Ray Dalio takes this further by maintaining detailed written principles that serve as external memory aids. However, through constant review and application, these principles become internalized, allowing his brain to automatically reference them during decision-making processes. The most successful entrepreneurs practice active information processing. Instead of passively consuming content, they constantly ask themselves how new information connects to their existing knowledge base. This deliberate practice strengthens neural pathways and improves information retrieval speed. Modern neuroscience reveals that billionaires are essentially building more efficient neural networks. Through repetitive practice of information processing and pattern recognition, they develop what scientists call crystallized intelligence. The ability to use accumulated knowledge and experience to solve new problems rapidly. The key insight: memory isn't about storing more information. It's about building better systems for accessing and connecting knowledge when opportunities arise. Jeff Bezos didn't randomly choose to start an online bookstore. His brain had been trained to recognize patterns that revealed emerging opportunities. Through systematic practice, billionaires develop what cognitive psychologists call expert pattern recognition, the ability to identify significant trends before they become obvious to everyone else. This skill is developed through deliberate practice, not innate talent. Successful entrepreneurs regularly engage in scenario planning exercises, training their brains to recognize cause and effect relationships across different industries and time horizons. They practice asking what-if questions and mentally modeling different outcomes. Peter Thiel, PayPal's co-founder, practices contrarian thinking exercises. He deliberately seeks out opinions that contradict popular consensus, training his brain to identify opportunities that others miss. This mental discipline led him to invest early in Facebook, when most investors thought social networking was oversaturated. Pattern recognition training involves studying historical examples and identifying recurring themes. Billionaires analyze past market crashes, technological disruptions, and social changes to develop mental models for predicting future trends. They're not fortune tellers, they're pattern recognition machines. Mark Benioff of Salesforce regularly practices analogical reasoning, the ability to see similarities between seemingly different situations. When he recognized that software could be delivered like electricity through the cloud, he was applying patterns from utility industries to technology. This mental exercise created a multi-billion-dollar company. Advanced practitioners use what military strategists call red team exercises, systematically attempting to identify weaknesses in their own thinking and strategies. This prevents cognitive blind spots that destroy lesser businesses. Charlie Munger advocates for inversion thinking, approaching problems by considering what you want to avoid rather than what you want to achieve. This mental exercise helps identify potential failures before they occur, allowing for better risk management and strategic planning. The most sophisticated billionaires practice systems thinking, the ability to understand how different variables interact within complex environments. They train their brains to see connections between seemingly unrelated events, allowing them to anticipate market changes and position themselves advantageously. These aren't abstract concepts. They are practical mental exercises that can be developed through consistent practice and application to real-world situations. The human brain's ability to rewire itself doesn't stop in childhood, and billionaires exploit this neuroplasticity to continuously upgrade their cognitive capabilities. Modern neuroscience reveals specific techniques that literally reshape neural pathways to enhance performance. Sleep optimization forms the foundation of cognitive enhancement for ultra-successful individuals. Jeff Bezos prioritizes 8 hours of sleep because research shows that sleep deprivation destroys decision-making abilities and creative thinking. During sleep, the brain consolidates memories and clears metabolic waste that impairs cognitive function. Billionaires also practice what neuroscientists call cognitive load management. Instead of multitasking, which research proves reduces efficiency, they design their environments to minimize mental distractions during high-stakes thinking. Warren Buffett's office in Omaha is deliberately simple, allowing maximum mental resources for investment analysis. Physical exercise serves as a powerful cognitive enhancer. Regular aerobic activity increases BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, a protein that promotes new neural connections. Many successful entrepreneurs maintain rigorous exercise routines, not just for physical health, but for mental performance enhancement. Meditation and mindfulness practices are increasingly common among billionaires because they strengthen the prefrontal cortex, the brain region responsible for executive functions like planning, decision-making, and emotional regulation. Ray Dalio's daily meditation practice has trained his brain for enhanced focus and reduced emotional reactivity during high-pressure situations. Nutritional optimization plays a crucial role in cognitive enhancement. The brain consumes 20% of daily caloric intake, and its performance is directly affected by nutrient availability. Successful entrepreneurs often follow specific dietary protocols designed to optimize mental clarity and energy levels throughout the day. Perhaps most importantly, billionaires practice deliberate learning techniques that maximize neuroplasticity. Instead of passive consumption, they engage in active learning methods like teaching others, writing summaries, and practical application. This forces the brain to create stronger neural pathways and improves long-term retention. The most advanced practitioners use technology-assisted cognitive training. Some billionaires employ neurofeedback systems that provide real-time information about brain states, allowing them to optimize mental performance through biofeedback training. The ultimate insight: your brain is not fixed. Through systematic application of these neuroplasticity principles, anyone can develop the cognitive capabilities that support extraordinary success. The difference lies in treating brain training as seriously as billionaires treat their business strategies. The gap between billionaire success and average performance isn't about luck, connections, or even starting capital. It's about mental architecture. Every technique we've explored today, from Warren Buffett to systematic information processing to Elon Musk's first principles thinking, represents a deliberate choice to train the brain for extraordinary performance. What strikes me most about these methods is their accessibility. You don't need a Harvard MBA or venture capital funding to implement memory palace techniques. You don't need a trust fund to practice pattern recognition exercises or optimize your sleep for cognitive enhancement. These are learnable skills that compound over time through consistent application. The billionaires we've studied weren't born with superior brains. They simply committed to treating their minds like their most valuable assets. While most people invest time in entertainment and passive consumption, they invested in cognitive development and strategic thinking capabilities. The choice is yours. You can continue operating with default mental patterns, or you can begin the systematic process of upgrading your cognitive architecture. The brain training techniques used by the world's most successful individuals are now available to anyone willing to prioritize mental fitness over mental comfort. Remember, neuroplasticity means your brain can change at any age. The only question is whether you'll direct that change intentionally or leave it to chance. The billionaires profiled today chose intention, and that choice shaped everything that followed. Your brain is capable of far more than you've asked from it. Start with one technique from today's content. Maybe it's protecting your morning hours for deep thinking instead of scrolling social media. Perhaps it's practicing the memory palace method with information relevant to your goals, or implementing first principles thinking on a current challenge you're facing. The transformation won't happen overnight, but it will happen if you commit to the process. Your future self will thank you for every day you choose cognitive development over cognitive comfort. If this resonated with you, hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments which brain training technique you're most excited to implement. I genuinely read every comment, and use your feedback to create content that helps you level up. What success topic should we explore next? Drop your suggestions below. Your idea might become our next deep exploration into what separates the extraordinary from the ordinary. The brain you have today doesn't have to be the brain you have tomorrow. Make the choice that billionaires made. Start training your mind for the success you deserve.